Sometimes life puts two completely different people on the same path for one unexpected reason: kindness. And sometimes, the moment that changes everything appears in the most awkward, unbelievable way. That's exactly what happened to a single dad named Luke, the day he accidentally walked in on a billionaire, and saw far more than he ever meant to. But what she said next? It was nothing he could have ever expected. Narrator: Luke never believed that one uncomfortable mistake could rewrite the rest of his life. But this moment would open a door to healing, hope, and a kind of kindness he thought the world had forgotten. Narrator: Before we jump into the story, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment to support our channel, Kindness World. Your support helps us share more stories that touch the heart and inspire kindness around the world. Narrator: Luke Bennett was a 34-year-old single dad raising his 7-year-old daughter, Grace, on the outskirts of Denver, Colorado. Life hadn't been easy since his wife passed away 3 years earlier. He worked as a maintenance worker in a large corporate building, a place filled with people who barely looked at him unless something needed fixing. Narrator: Grace was the light of his life, the reason he woke up every morning, the reason he kept fighting. She loved drawing animals, and leaving cute notes in his lunchbox that usually said things like, "Daddy, you're the best," or "Don't forget to smile today." Those notes kept him going on the days when exhaustion pulled him down. Narrator: One chilly morning, Luke was called to fix a heating issue on the top executive floor, a place he rarely visited. It was quiet, modern, and smelled like coffee the assistants drank but never finished. He checked his work order twice. The room number belonged to the CEO, Evelyn Hart. Narrator: Evelyn wasn't just any CEO. She was one of the youngest billionaires in the country, sharp, bold, and constantly featured in magazines. Luke had never met her in person. He only heard the stories. She worked non-stop, didn't smile much, and expected perfection from everyone. Luke assumed she was the kind of person who lived in a world far above his. Narrator: When he reached her office, the door was slightly open. He knocked gently. No answer. Thinking maybe she wasn't inside, he stepped in to check the heater. Narrator: And that was when it happened, the mistake. Narrator: Evelyn Hart stepped out from behind a divider at the exact same moment Luke walked in. She wasn't fully dressed. She had been changing after spilling coffee on her suit. Luke froze. His heart nearly stopped. He quickly spun around, face burning red. Narrator: Oh my God, I am so sorry, ma'am, I didn't know, I shouldn't have, I'm sorry, he stammered like his mouth forgot how to form words. Narrator: He expected yelling. He expected to be fired. He expected security to walk him out. Narrator: Instead, Evelyn said something he never saw coming. Narrator: Please don't worry. It's okay. Really, it's okay. Narrator: Her voice wasn't cold. It wasn't angry. It was gentle. Almost tired. She grabbed a blazer from her chair and walked to him, still calm. Narrator: You didn't do anything wrong, she said softly. I should have locked the door. Narrator: Luke finally found the courage to look up. She didn't seem furious, just human. Not the powerful billionaire he always imagined. Narrator: Do you still need to fix the heater? She asked, trying to lighten the mood. Narrator: He nodded awkwardly and went to work, still shaken. But a strange silence filled the room, not tense, just curious. Evelyn kept glancing at him with the expression of someone who wanted to ask something but hesitated. Narrator: When he finished, she spoke again. You're Luke, right? The single father? He blinked. How do you know my name? She smiled a little. I read the employee files sometimes. I like to know who works in my building. Narrator: That surprised him. Someone like her caring to know someone like him? It didn't feel real. Narrator: Your daughter. Grace? She draws little pictures in your lunchbox, doesn't she? Luke felt his chest tighten. Yes, he whispered. She's my whole world. Narrator, Evelyn looked out the window for a moment. Then she said something that changed how he viewed her forever. Narrator, I grew up without a dad, she said quietly. I know how important it is for a child to have someone who shows up. Narrator, for the first time in years, Luke saw something fragile in someone everyone called powerful. Narrator, over the next few weeks, Evelyn began greeting him in the halls. Sometimes she asked about Grace. Sometimes she brought him coffee. Luke didn't understand why she cared. Narrator, one Friday afternoon, she called him to her office again. He expected another repair job. Instead, she surprised him with 2 tickets. Narrator, for you and Grace, she said. The Denver Winter Festival. I thought she might like it. Narrator, Luke's throat tightened. No one had done something like that for them since his wife passed. Ms. Hart. I don't know what to say. Narrator, say you'll go, she replied with a warm smile. Kindness doesn't need explanations. Narrator, Grace was over the moon. She held the tickets like they were magic. On the day of the festival, the lights sparkled, music filled the air, and Grace laughed harder than Luke had heard in years. It felt like the world finally gave him a moment of peace. Narrator, but the biggest surprise came when Evelyn herself showed up at the festival. She saw them from afar and walked toward them, bundled in a simple coat, looking nothing like the billionaire people imagined. Narrator, Grace grabbed her dad's hand. Daddy, who's that lady? Narrator, Luke smiled. Someone very kind. Narrator, Evelyn spent the evening with them, helping Grace win small games, buying her hot chocolate, and letting her ride the carousel twice. Grace adored her instantly. Narrator, at one point, Grace slipped her small hand into Evelyn's. Are you my dad's friend? She asked innocently. Narrator, Evelyn's eyes softened. I hope so, she said gently. Narrator, Luke watched them, feeling something he hadn't felt in years, hope. Not romantic hope, not yet, but human hope. The hope that kindness can reach people who have been hurting quietly. Narrator, by the end of the night, as the lights dimmed and the crowd began to leave, Evelyn turned to Luke. Narrator, you know, she said with a small smile, the day you walked into my office. I thought it would be the worst moment of my week. But it turned out to be one of the best. Narrator, Luke laughed nervously. I thought I was going to lose my job. Narrator, she shook her head. You reminded me that I'm human. And that kindness still matters. Narrator, Grace tugged on Luke's sleeve. Daddy, can Ms. Evelyn come with us again sometime? Narrator, Evelyn knelt down. I would love that. Narrator, Luke's heart warmed in a way he couldn't explain. That awkward moment he once wished he could erase had instead brought something unexpectedly beautiful into their lives. Narrator, sometimes kindness comes from the people we least expect. Sometimes a mistake becomes a doorway. And sometimes 2 lives touch not because of luck, but because kindness finds a way through. Narrator, if this story touched your heart, remember this, a single act of kindness can rewrite someone's day, someone's story, even someone's life. Be that ripple. Be that reason. The world becomes better one kind choice at a time. Narrator, thank you for watching, and remember, kindness always comes back around.